Coming up, the Turnpike turmoil continued, but this time is with the man who was running the Turnpikes and the Department of Transportation and other things as well. We're going to talk more about that coming up next on Flashpoint. Tim Gatz.
Okay.
We've had him on the show, running the Turnpike Department and some other things as well. He was back in the news, and our Spencer Humphrey has more on that.
The opinion from Attorney General Drummond called it a violation of state law for Tim Gatz to have simultaneously served as Oklahoma's Secretary of Transportation while also leading the Department of Transportation and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. Within hours of that opinion being released, Gatz announced he'll step down from two of those roles.
It looks funny to have two large agencies, the ODOT and OTA, talking to each other through one person.
That exact scenario pretty much happened. It was about this time last year when I uncovered records about Gatz's role in a controversial turnpike project in West Tulsa that effectively converted a portion of a once free road into a toll road near Melissa Myers' house.
It's morphed into a turnpike versus just a feasible road.
I found Gatz was able to sign partnership agreements between ODOT and the OTA for that project, both in his role with the OTA and with ODOT.
One man is over multiple areas. That's not good.
The resignation comes one day before the first project under OTA's controversial Access Oklahoma plan will break ground, a project Gatz oversaw. Randy Carter lives near the route of several proposed turnpikes in that project near Norman.
They're by law two separate agencies, and I think it's ripe for inappropriate activity to occur.
But the AG's opinion today said while Gatz wasn't technically legally allowed to serve in all three roles at once, any action he took during that time is still valid.
All right, our Spencer Humphrey reporting. He's talking about, of course, the new turnpikes that the OTA wants to put in. Pike off folks don't want them. We've covered those in depth here. What do you think about this ruling from Attorney General Drummond?
Well, I'll defer to the former Attorney General. I've got a thought on this, but the former Attorney General of Oklahoma, Mike Turpin.
First of all, as a former Attorney General, I pretty well know that as an Attorney General, I didn't go inject myself into hardly any issues in state government. It's all because somebody comes and asks you for your opinion as Attorney General. He's asked for an opinion. He gave his opinion. It wasn't scathing or anything. He didn't say you got to go back and reverse everything you've done, but he just said, wait a minute. You can't really sign a contract between two state agencies yourself, meaning the Turnpike Authority and the Transportation. Turnpikes, OTA, Turnpike Authority. Two massive state agencies. He was, I guess, representing both of them as he signed an agreement for both of them because he was secretary over both of them. So there was an argument that he could do that. The Attorney General was saying, going forward, you can't do that anymore. You know, you can't serve two masters. That's the idea. A minor conflict of interest there. Some may say a major conflict of interest, but I was kind of glad the Attorney General has been common sense about it and not saying you need to go back and reverse everything you've ever done. So change your ways going forward, and we'll be okay with it.
Was he drawing two salaries? Do we know that?
I don't know that.
Okay.
Well, I think that's,
we've had Tim on the show.
I think that's semantics a little bit in that, was he drawing two salaries or did he receive more because he had more responsibility? I understand the question. It is important to know that Tim Gatz is not the first individual to serve in this capacity, in this collaboration and serving, as we've said, more than one state agency. But it's all roads and bridges. It's not as if it's transportation and tourism or transportation and commerce or transportation and Veterans Affairs, where you are really serving two masters. Not being contrarian to what you said, Mike, but it's roads and bridges. I think there's an argument away from the Attorney General's opinion for a future legislature and a future governor to say, do we need to just consolidate the Department of Transportation, the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority? I understand the unique nuances of the two different agencies and departments. However, it is all roads and bridges, and we could serve the state better if there was more consolidation.
He's been doing it a long time.
He has.
Tim Gatz.
And folks, it's part of the fun of being Attorney General. I used to say this: nobody asks for an Attorney General's opinion unless it's a real close issue or a controversial issue.
Sure.
It's a close call and it's controversial. Let's go ask the Attorney General. And man, oh man, oh man, I developed a philosophy back then, and I've told it to young AGs all over the country. Don't dance every dance. You don't have to answer every question. This question they had to answer.
And the legal aspect, it's
yeah.
unique because the case law is silent on it.
Yeah.
That's why you need an AG's opinion most of the time, right?
That's fair. That's
so,
fair.
So you're essentially putting on a black robe, you're acting as jurors, and you're issuing an opinion. And it's a heavy opinion.
That is.
And every once in a while, your opinion gets appealed to district court, and
once- yeah.
the judge gets reviewed, and then it goes all the way to the Oklahoma Supreme Court, and they review your opinion.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say you're right, sometimes they say you're wrong, but you're right. You're almost acting like in a judicial capacity to a certain extent. It's fun being Attorney General, folks, and some say AG stands for aspiring governor. I'm not sure that's true now, but it wasn't my
That
case.
just never happened in Oklahoma, ever.
That's fair. That's fair.
Never has